A lot of us have been going to school for a long time, but a lot of us still struggle with balancing school life and personal life. But how do we really do it? I mean, we've been in school for such a long time, you should know by now, but what do we really do? It's actually super easy. All you need is a notebook or a piece of paper and a pencil. You just have to write down your schedule. But it's not just any regular schedule. You don't just write down the times and, the times and places where you do them because, well, schedules change, not everything stays the same, and instead of making a regular schedule, you want to make one that's based on the things you do that are almost always the same time and take the same amount of time every day versus the things that can change, the things that are based on you, the things that are based on how much you want to do it. For example, if you go to sleep, it's already 8 hours a day, but most people sleep for relatively the same amount almost every day. It won't always be the same, but it'll be almost relatively the same. It'll be very close to it at least. And for school, that's always going to be around 7 hours. Well, at least for me. But that's just things that will constantly be almost the same every single time. So you can bank on those things being around the same time every single day. But when you put those two together, that's already 15 hours a day. And you think that's all the things that are definites. There's also other things that you probably don't include, like eating, for example. Eating also takes like an hour and a half a day, even if you eat in school. When you have breakfast and dinner, that usually takes an hour and a half. It might not most times, but it's good. It's better to be safe than sorry. And also, when you walk to school, for some people it takes a while. For me, it takes 30 minutes. So you have to write that down as well. Then you'll see that a big chunk of the day is already taken just simply from just eating, sleeping, and going to school. Surprisingly for me, that was 17 out of the 24 hours, and that's already 70% of my day. But when it comes to doing stuff I want to outside of school, that's where there's more legroom. Like say for me, I want to learn the violin for an hour. I want to, learn languages for an hour. I want to do a couple of these things, right? So those things, I have to see how much time that will take. And then after, I'm going to compare it with how much time I have left. And also, I won't forget to add, an extra hour to the end of that because, there has to be some legroom because obviously things can happen. And the other day even, I was trying to record this video and it started raining. I had to go back home because I forgot my umbrella. So if you don't think things will happen, things will. There's always going to be something that happens. So it's good to prepare for it. Like say if there's a project that's going to happen. You don't know when it's going to happen, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Whenever you do this as well, you also want to have time for fun things. You don't just want to be a workaholic. You don't just want to keep on working and working and working. It just doesn't make sense to continue to work but not really have any time for yourself. So don't forget to give a little time to hang out with your friends, just to have things that are fun. And things that are fun doesn't have to be like things that are detrimental to you. Like you don't have, for example, you don't just have to play video games to have fun. There's obviously other ways you can have fun. And there's always ways to combine both learning and having fun. And when you can do that, that's when it's really good because you also learn faster when you're having fun as well. That's just a little thing I wanted to add. But when it comes to making a schedule, a lot of times you want to just include what you need to do versus things that are always reoccurring, like how people have school, it happens every day. Or when people sleep, it happens every day. But things that are, things that you want to do that aren't every day and that aren't required, that's when you need to basically see how much time you have to decipher what is more important to you. Because say at the end of the day, if your schedule seems more than the amount that you have, that's you're going to have to be like, okay, what's important? What do I put first? Do I practice my languages instead, or do I work out instead? That's going to be a question that you need to answer if after you start to realize your schedule is going to take more than a day. And it shouldn't, because if it takes more than a day, that means you're doing way too much. And for people who are really ambitious like me, you have to somehow find ways to change your schedule to fit, everything that you want, or you have to just take out some things that aren't as important to you. And that's what you have to decipher, because only you can figure out what's more important to you. I can't do that, which is why this is more about you than it is me, because I can't figure this out for you. This is all about you, because only you know these things. I'm almost like a slideshow template. Like I'll give you the directions to do it and the steps to do it, but you have to put in the information, because this is about you. And to balance school life and personal life, this is something that you have to make a schedule for, because once you know your schedule, that's when you can start making the changes, because you can literally see what's going on, and after you can see what's going on, you can make changes according to what you want. And that's how you can balance school life and personal life.